Thanks for joining me today in my garage gym. We're gonna do a short core workout, full body core workout, and you'll just need some space on the floor, maybe some yoga blocks, especially if you're going to do some mobilizing and mobility work before or after. And then we'll use a clock today, so you don't need to count reps. Yay! We're just going to do 30-second bouts of work with a 10-second transition. And you can just follow along with me and we'll do great. Here's your movement preview. First, kneel to pike. Next, forward roll, backward roll, or rolling prep. All these movements will have alternate options. Third, crab toe touch to L-sit or tuck sit. Last, lizard push-up. And remember, I will be offering many levels of each movement once we get started with the workout. Let's warm up. Start with cat-cow. Inhaling, arching the back. Exhaling, tucking the tail, chin, and rounding the back. Go ahead and tuck the toes under. And next time you exhale, drive your hips up and back to downward dog. And then as you inhale, tap the knees down or float the knees as you come through cow. All right. Next movement, we're going to prep that rolling. So we're working on technique here for that skill. So nice wide hand plant. Make a window with one elbow, peek through that window, and flatten the other top of the shoulder long on the ground. So long arm, top of the shoulder hitting so your head can move freely when you plant that shoulder and peek through the window. One more angle here. Keep pushing onto the shoulder as you feel like you have the right contact space. Get used to loading up the shoulder and prep for rolling. All right, here's another one. We're going to come to a seated position. And we're going to work on crab to table. So there's our crab, and then we're driving the hips up with the tail tucked under into table. You should feel a nice stretch on the front of the shoulders. Have a nice wide stance with the hands gripping into the floor gently. And then you can level up a notch if you like by lifting one foot off the ground each time you drive the hips. And then second part, we can add this work on sliding to an L-sit, just making a little bit of space and dragging your butt right between your hands. If you have yoga blocks for this, they're very handy to elevate your hands to. Okay, last one we're warming up is the lizard push-up. So let's just work on stepping out and rotating through the spine. So I'm stepping kind of up toward my hand and out to the side of my hand, not right next to my hand like yoga, but just out there somewhere. And then let the opposite hip drop without letting the shoulder drive in toward your ear. Feel free to sample the push-up if you feel ready for it. That is our warm-up. Okay, we got 3 rounds of 30 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. Here we go. Plant your hands close to your knees and press up to a pike position. The closer you plant your hands to or beyond or next to your knees, the more work you're going to feel in that compression, strengthen your hip flexors and your abs. You can also elevate your hands to give yourself a little bit more space. By the way, I'm just going to talk you through this first round and then I'll shut up and let you go on the next 2. Nice work. Next movement coming up in 5 seconds is that shoulder roll. So let's start with just a kneeling position and work on dropping the shoulder and seeing if we can make contact with the top of the shoulder, back of the arm, or top of the arm. And then ideally you want to check, kind of nod your head yes to see if you can actually move it and you're not resting body weight on that head. If you are, I've got a great mobility exercise for you to try at the end of the workout for thoracic rotation and extension. So then if you've got the space, then go ahead and roll away until you get dizzy. Work on different methods. If you roll out to the side, it's okay. You'll get the hang of it. Okay, next movement coming up is the crab. There we go. Crab toe touch with an optional L-sit. So crab position is right here. We're going to reach across the midline, maybe kick that leg out, maybe keep both hands on the ground, and then shoot the hips back. Shooting the hips back requires the same kind of strength that you might have felt when you did the pike from kneeling position, the first exercise. So it requires some space. If you don't have it and can't make it, can't feel like you can get it by squishing more, you can elevate your hands. And then kicking to that reaching hand is an option that you can use as well. Okay, fourth and final movement, lizard push-up. I'm going to show you the full thing first. Again, there's some thoracic mobility involved in this rotational movement here. Notice that I'm stepping up and out to the side, but not putting my foot next to my hand. That's a lot to ask. So just get your foot up and out of the way a bit. We're not doing yoga here. And then to access the press, if you want to try dropping the hips or the hip on the pressing side, you can try that. You're looking at the planted foot and you're dropping the opposite hip down. Obviously, to make it tougher, you're keeping that hip and knee off the ground. All right, good luck with your next 2 rounds. Okay, mobility for those of us, which maybe all of us, had a little stickiness with the rotational aspect of the lizard lunge and also with the rolling, getting our head off the ground and getting our shoulder on the ground to initiate that forward roll. All we're doing is working on linear control of our spinal segments between our neck and our mid-back, so our thoracic spine. I'm working on rounding, which is the easy part for most of us, and then arching while keeping the neck and the low back still. So you've got to lock your hips down, which means you sit on your heels, and if they don't reach your heels, then set your butt to a yoga block that connects your heels to your hips, or maybe a pillow cushion or something like that. Then walk your hands away from you and work on rounding out, and then arching. In the thoracic spine, arching isn't very impressive looking. There's just a little bit of upward curve there. You go. See the little wrinkles in my shirt? That's it. And I'm still getting much more movement through my mid-back than I should be, and then not enough between my shoulder blades. So if you move like me, which most of us move in a pretty similar way based on our modern lifestyles, then that's where you need to focus your effort, is right between the shoulder blades, getting that arch and rounding to happen so that you can get into better positions when you work out. Oh, here's what happens if you don't lock your hips down. Your low back does it for you. Thanks, but no thanks. All right. Good luck with these.